The golden sun was setting slowly behind the ocean, casting a soft orange glow across the beachside resort. Laughter, soft music, and the sound of glasses clinking filled the air. It was the kind of evening people traveled miles to enjoy. Among the busy staff moving around to serve the wealthy guests was a young black woman named Maya. She wore her uniform neatly. Her hair was tied back. Her shoes were polished, and her name tag shined. She carried herself with quiet pride and respect. She wasn't just doing her job, she was doing it with heart. Maya walked gracefully from table to table, offering drinks and snacks, smiling warmly even when no one smiled back. Many guests ignored her, treating her like furniture. But Maya had seen this before. She was used to it. Then Clarissa Thorne arrived. Clarissa was a rich woman with expensive taste and a cold heart. She wore diamonds that sparkled louder than her voice. She walked in like she owned the resort. The staff stood straighter when she passed. No one wanted to upset her. Maya was asked to serve Clarissa's table. From the moment Maya arrived with the tray, Clarissa's eyes narrowed. She looked at Maya from head to toe with disgust. "What took you so long?" Clarissa asked sharply. "I'm sorry, ma'am." There was a slight delay in the kitchen. Maya replied politely. Clarissa didn't even respond. She looked away and waved her hand, as if brushing off a fly. Maya placed the drinks gently on the table. "Ew, did you even clean your hands?" "I can smell something," Clarissa snapped loudly, looking around as if inviting others to join her insult. Maya paused for a second, then simply nodded and walked back to the bar to get fresh napkins. But behind her, she heard the low snickers from Clarissa's table. Her cheeks burned, but she didn't show it. When Maya returned, Clarissa wasn't done. "What's wrong with the way you walk?" she mocked. "Did no one teach you how to move with grace?" Maya stayed silent. She placed the napkins neatly on the table. The other staff noticed what was happening. They looked on with worried eyes but said nothing. They had seen what happened to those who crossed rich guests. Most of them were too scared to even look at Clarissa directly. Clarissa continued to find fault with every little thing. The way Maya placed the glass, the way she smiled, even the way she said thank you. Then it happened. Clarissa took her half-full glass of sparkling water and threw it at Maya. The cold water splashed across Maya's face and uniform. Before Maya could even react, slap. Clarissa's hand struck Maya's cheek. The sound echoed through the outdoor lounge. Everything stopped. The music, the laughter, even the wind seemed to pause. Guests at nearby tables turned their heads. Staff dropped what they were doing. Some gasped. Others just froze, unsure of what to do. Maya's head turned slightly from the force of the slap. Her hands were wet. Her face stung. But her eyes stayed calm. She slowly turned her face back toward Clarissa. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't raise her voice. She simply looked Clarissa directly in the eyes and said, in a steady voice, "You will remember this moment." Clarissa scoffed. "Is that a threat?" Maya didn't answer. She just took a step back, her wet uniform clinging to her. She turned and walked away quietly, leaving a stunned silence behind her. Some guests whispered. A couple of them looked uncomfortable, but no one stood up for Maya. No one said a word to Clarissa. Maya walked past her fellow staff members, who stood frozen near the bar. She gave them a small smile, like she was saying, "It's okay. Don't worry." But behind that smile was a storm. As she reached the employee hallway, she stopped for a moment. There on the wall was a framed photo of the resort's founder and current owner, a powerful man who built this paradise from nothing. A man who believed in respect and dignity for every person, no matter their job. Maya looked at the photo and whispered softly under her breath, "Time to remind them who really deserves respect." She then wiped her face with a towel, took a deep breath, and walked to the back office. The sun outside continued to set, but something had already changed. The calm Maya everyone thought they knew was just the surface. and what lay beneath. No one was ready for that. That night, the resort was quiet. The waves gently touched the sand. The moonlight reflected on the pool, making everything look peaceful on the outside. But inside Maya's heart, a fire had started. She sat alone in the staff room, her wet uniform now dry, but still carrying the weight of humiliation. Her cheek still felt warm from Clarissa's slap. Her pride, bruised, but not broken. Other staff peeked inside the room, unsure if they should talk to her. Some offered soft looks. One young waiter, Louis, walked in with a towel and a bottle of water. "I saw what happened," he said, lowering his voice. "I'm so sorry. That woman, she's cruel." Maya took the water with a grateful nod. "It's not your fault. Or mine. She's done this before," Louis whispered. "To other workers. The management knows, but they don't want to lose such a rich guest." Maya looked at him carefully. "They let it happen." Louis hesitated, then nodded. "It's all about money here." Maya's eyes turned cold. Then maybe it's time someone reminded them who really matters. Louis was confused, but Maya stood up and walked to her locker. She pulled out her phone. For a moment, she just stared at it. "Should I do it?" she whispered to herself. Then she typed a short message and hit send. Meanwhile, in the resort's VIP suite, Clarissa Thorne laughed loudly over the phone. She just stood there, didn't even fight back, she told a friend. Poor thing thought she mattered. Clarissa sipped her wine and laid on the bed like a queen who had crushed a servant. These workers need to know their place. Just then, her assistant knocked and entered. "Ma'am, the hotel manager is asking to speak with you in the lounge." Clarissa frowned. "Now, what for?" "No idea." But he looked nervous. Clarissa rolled her eyes. "Fine. Let's see what this is about." At the same time, in a large office in the city, a tall, serious man looked at his phone screen. His face changed. He stood up. "Prepare the car," he told his driver. "We're going to the resort." Now, the man was Mr. Langston Blake, owner of the luxury resort chain. And more importantly, Maya's father. Back at the resort, Maya changed into a clean staff shirt. She stood at the back, looking at the ocean. Her hands were shaking just slightly. Luz joined her again. "Are you okay?" Maya nodded. "I've been quiet my whole life. Always polite. Always humble. But today was the last time I stay silent." Luz looked surprised. "What do you mean?" Maya looked out at the waves. "You'll see." Later that evening, Maya walked into the main lounge. Clarissa was there, sipping another drink. When she saw Maya, her lips curled. "You again? I thought you'd be gone by now. Still trying to pretend you belong." Maya walked past her without a word. She stood in the center of the lounge. Guests began to notice. Staff peeked from behind counters. Clarissa stood too. "Is this a joke? Someone throw her out." But then, the sound of shoes clicking echoed in the hallway. All heads turned. In walked Mr. Blake, tall, confident, dressed in black. He went straight to Maya and placed a hand on her shoulder. Clarissa blinked, confused. "What's going on?" Mr. Blake turned and faced everyone. "Good evening," he said. "I'm Langston Blake. I own this resort." Gasps spread through the room. "And this," he continued, "is my daughter, Maya Blake." Clarissa dropped her glass. It shattered on the floor. Maya turned and looked her straight in the eyes. "Remember when I said you'd remember this moment?" Clarissa's face turned pale. Mr. Blake looked around the room. "From now on," he said calmly, "this resort will treat all staff with the same respect given to our guests. Anyone who cannot do that will be asked to leave." He turned to Clarissa. "Starting with you." Clarissa tried to speak, but no words came. 2 security guards gently stepped forward. She screamed, "Do you know who I am?" Mr. Blake answered, "Yes. You're someone who thinks money is a license to hurt others. Not in my resort." As Clarissa was escorted out, guests clapped quietly. Staff smiled behind the curtains. But Maya stood tall, calm, proud. She hadn't hit back with her hands. She hit back with truth, and that hit landed harder than any slap ever could. The next morning, the air at the resort felt different. The sun was just rising, painting golden light on the sea. The waves moved gently, but the staff area buzzed with quiet excitement. Maya walked into the break room and noticed something unusual. People were smiling at her. For the first time, they didn't look through her. They looked at her with respect, with pride, with curiosity. Louis ran up beside her with 2 cups of tea. "One for you," he said, grinning. "The whole staff is talking about last night." Maya smiled softly. "I didn't do it to be talked about." Louis nodded. "I know, but you gave us something we lost a long time ago. Courage." In the kitchen, the head chef, Mr. Roland, a quiet, serious man, stood with arms folded. He'd been working there for 20 years. He called Maya over. "Miss Blake," he said politely. Maya chuckled. "Just Maya is fine." He looked at her with kind eyes. "No one ever stood up to Clarissa. We've all seen what she did, not just to you, but to others too. I was too scared to lose my job." Maya listened quietly. "I heard your father's speech," he continued. "I never thought anyone up top cared." Maya placed a hand over his. "Now you know someone does." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "Thank you." But not everyone was happy. Inside the guest relations office, the resort manager, Mr. Pierce, sat nervously at his desk. He had received a personal email from Mr. Blake that morning. It said, "Every staff member will now be monitored for how they treat others, guests and workers. Respect is now a rule, not a suggestion." Pierce was sweating. He had been the one who ignored past complaints. He had seen Clarissa slap a young worker last month and had done nothing. Now, it was only a matter of time before those secrets came out. He quickly grabbed a folder from his drawer, full of written reports from staff over the years. One page caught his eye. "Clarissa Thorne, repeat behavior, reported by Maya Blake." He whispered to himself, "How did I miss her last name?" But the truth was, he hadn't missed it. He just hadn't cared. Until now. Meanwhile, Maya walked through the garden with Louis. "Why didn't you tell anyone your father owns the resort?" he asked. She looked up at the sky and sighed. "Because I wanted to see the truth, not the version people show when they want to impress the boss's daughter." Louis nodded. "So, what now?" Maya's voice was calm, but strong. "Now I keep watching. Not just Clarissa. Not just Mr. Pierce. Everyone." Louis smiled, like a secret inspector. She grinned. "Exactly." At lunchtime, Maya saw something that confirmed her mission wasn't over yet. She entered the dining hall and saw a group of wealthy guests being served. One of the guests snapped his fingers at a young waiter and shouted, "You deaf or just lazy?" Maya's eyes narrowed. The waiter looked down, holding back tears. It reminded her too much of what she had felt. She stepped forward, walked up to the guest with a calm face, and said, "Sir, please treat our staff with respect. He's here to serve, not to be insulted." The man looked shocked. "And who are you?" Before Maya could answer, Louis stepped beside her and said loudly, "She's Maya Blake, the owner's daughter." The whole room turned silent. The man's face turned red. I didn't know." Maya interrupted gently. "You shouldn't need to know who someone is to be kind." The guest lowered his head. That evening, Maya met with her father. They sat on the balcony of the top suite, watching the sunset again. But this time, it felt warmer. "Are you proud of me?" Maya asked. Mr. Blake smiled. "More than you know." He handed her a folder. Inside was a new ID badge. It read, "Maya Blake, Director of Guest and Staff Relations." Her eyes widened. "This isn't over," she said softly. Her father nodded. It's just the beginning. The resort looked peaceful on the outside, but inside, tension was growing. Maya had become the silent storm that no one saw coming. Her kindness, her patience, it fooled people. But now, staff were whispering that she was more than just a waitress, that she owned the place. Mr. Pierce, the resort manager, wasn't happy. He had built his little kingdom of control over many years, and Maya's presence was ruining everything. One evening, long after most guests had gone to sleep, Pierce made a call. She's asking too many questions, he told someone on the other end. We need to shut her down. The next morning, Maya walked into the kitchen and noticed something strange. Chef Roland avoided her eyes. Louis didn't smile like he usually did. The room felt cold. Maya raised an eyebrow. Something happened. No one answered. She left quietly, heading to the garden to think. But she didn't know that Pierce had already started planting lies about her. Meanwhile, in a private room, Pierce held a secret meeting with 3 senior employees: Monica, the head of spa services, Jared from security, and Carla from guest management. She's not here to help you, Pierce said calmly. She's spying on all of us. Monica crossed her arms. She's just a kid. Why should we care? Because she's not just a kid, Pierce snapped. She's the CEO's daughter, and she's here to find reasons to fire us. Jared looked worried. You mean she's undercover? Pierce nodded. Yes, and if we don't act fast, this resort won't belong to us anymore. It'll belong to her. Carla whispered, What do we do? Pierce leaned in closer. We make her look bad. We make it seem like she's the problem. That same evening, Maya entered the main dining hall to check on the night shift. She found one of the waiters crying in the corner. What happened? She asked gently. They blamed me for something I didn't do, he whispered. Said I stole from a guest's bag. But I didn't. Maya's eyes narrowed. Who said that? Carla, he replied. She said she found money in my locker. Maya thought for a moment. Carla, the same person Pierce had promoted quickly last year. Something didn't feel right. Later, Maya went back to her room and opened her notebook. She had written down everything she had seen, heard, and felt. At the top of the page, she wrote, Trust is a mask. Watch what people do, not what they say. She knew the truth was hiding in plain sight. She just had to look harder. The next morning, Maya checked the staff logbook. She noticed something strange. The report about the theft was written before the shift even started. How could someone report a theft before it happened? She whispered to herself. She took a photo of the page with her phone. Then, she walked straight to the guest's room who had reported the missing money. To her surprise, the guest was confused. No, I didn't say anyone stole anything, he said. I simply asked where I left my wallet. I found it in my beach bag later. Maya smiled politely. Thank you. That helps a lot. Now, she had proof. Someone was framing the staff to cover their own lies. Back in the staff hallway, Maya saw Pierce coming toward her. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. I hear you're asking a lot of questions, he said. I ask because I care, Maya replied softly. He stepped closer. You might want to be careful. People might think you're causing trouble. She smiled. And people might also start wondering what you have to hide. He flinched. Maya stepped past him. She didn't look back. Ending suspense. That night, Maya sat at her desk and opened her laptop. She began typing an email to her father. Subject: Urgent, staff being framed. Dad, I found something. I think Mr. Pierce is behind it all. We need to act fast before innocent people lose their jobs. She paused. Her phone buzzed. A message appeared. Unknown in UMBR. Stop digging, or you'll regret it. Maya stared at the screen. Her eyes narrowed. She whispered, Now I know I'm getting close. The sun had barely risen over the resort When Maya stepped out of her room, her mind spinning with questions, the message on her phone still haunted her. Stop digging, or you'll regret it. Someone was watching her. Someone didn't want her to find the truth. But Maya wasn't afraid. She was done pretending to be just a cleaner. It was time to find the truth, even if it hurt. As Maya walked through the hallway, staff avoided her eyes. Some looked nervous. Others whispered behind her back. The lies that Mr. Pierce had planted were working. People believed Maya was here to ruin their lives. They didn't know she was trying to protect them. Later that day, Maya met Louis in the back kitchen. Louis had always been kind to her, offered water, smiled, and asked if she'd eaten. But now, even he looked unsure. "Louis," Maya said gently, "do you think I'm here to cause trouble?" He looked down, then shook his head slowly. "I don't know, Maya. Things are confusing. People say things." "What things?" "That you're not really a cleaner, that you're the CEO's daughter." Maya didn't respond. She simply looked at him and asked, "Do you think I've treated anyone badly?" Louis paused, then whispered, "No. You've been better to us than management ever was." Maya smiled faintly. "Then help me. Help me prove what's going on." That evening, Louis snuck Maya into the old security room. It was dusty and rarely used since the new system was installed, but it still recorded everything. Maya sat in front of the computer. Louis handed her a USB. "I copied some files for you," he said. "You need to see this." Maya plugged in the USB and opened the folder. Her heart pounded as the videos loaded. The first clip showed Carla sneaking into the staff locker room. She was holding a small envelope. She opened a locker, the same locker where the money was found. Maya's eyes widened. It was all staged. Another clip showed Pierce whispering to Monica in the spa, handing her a folder. She said, "So we make it look like she is the problem." Pierce nodded and replied, "Exactly. I don't care who her father is." Maya leaned back in her chair, eyes burning. This was the proof she needed. But she wasn't ready to go public yet. She needed one more thing. She needed to see who sent that threatening message. The next day, Maya went to the front desk and smiled politely at the young man named Brian. "Can I see the guest log for last week?" she asked sweetly. Brian blinked. "That's not allowed." Maya leaned in and whispered, "I know about the fake theft report, and I know who really put the money there." Brian's face turned pale. Maya tilted her head. "Please, help me, or more innocent people will suffer." Shaking, Brian handed her the file. Maya flipped through it until she found the name, Clarissa Thorne, her room number, her phone number, and her time of check-in. Something clicked in Maya's mind. The message came just an hour after Maya visited Clarissa's old suite. That was no coincidence. Was Clarissa behind the threats too? Or was someone using her name? That evening, Maya decided to confront the one person she hadn't spoken to yet, Monica. She found Monica at the spa, giving a guest a massage. Maya waited quietly, arms crossed. When Monica saw her, she froze. "We need to talk," Maya said. "I'm busy," Monica snapped. Maya's voice dropped. "I know what you and Pierce did." Monica stood, her hands shaking. I was just following orders," she whispered. "He said you were here to fire us all." Maya's eyes narrowed. "So you helped him lie and frame staff. Do you feel powerful now?" Monica said nothing. Maya turned to leave, but paused. "I'm giving you one chance to fix this. Tomorrow morning, I'm calling my father." Monica gasped. Your father?" "Yes," Maya said calmly. "The man who owns this resort." The morning air at the luxury resort was still and heavy. The ocean breeze danced softly, but inside the resort, a storm was building. Maya stood in the lobby wearing her cleaner's uniform one last time. But today, she wasn't just a cleaner. Today, she was the daughter of the CEO. And today, the truth would rise. Staff rushed around the lobby, unaware of what was coming. Monica looked nervous. Her hands shook as she arranged towels at the spa desk. Pierce walked with his usual arrogance, whispering to a new guest while eyeing Maya from a distance. He thought he had won. He thought Maya was scared. But he didn't know the call she made last night. At exactly 10 a.m., a black luxury car pulled up at the resort entrance. The doors opened, and out stepped a tall, powerful black man in a sleek gray suit. His eyes were sharp. His presence made people pause. This was Mr. Leon Rivers, the CEO and owner of the entire resort chain. The man who had built everything from the ground up, and the man no one ever expected to see here. He walked straight past the stunned bellboys and staff and headed for the reception. Maya stepped forward to meet him. There was a moment of silence. Then he hugged her. "My little lioness," he said. "You did well." Everyone watched in shock. Maya, the cleaner, was his daughter. Pierce stepped out of the elevator just in time to see the hug. His face went pale. He looked at Monica, who was frozen in fear. "Sir, can I help you?" Pierce asked, trying to keep his voice calm. Mr. Rivers turned slowly and gave a cold smile. "Yes, you can explain why my daughter was slapped, humiliated, and framed in my own resort." Pierce stammered, "Sir, I didn't know she was your—" "That's the point," Maya interrupted, her voice strong. "You treated someone like dirt just because of their uniform, their skin, their silence. And now," she added, "we know what kind of people you really are." A staff meeting was called. Everyone gathered in the main lounge. Monica avoided eye contact. Carla looked ready to cry. Brian, the front desk boy, looked guilty. Maya stepped onto the small stage at the front. She was no longer afraid. "My name is Maya Rivers," she began. "I came here as a cleaner, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I wanted to see how this place runs, how the people who work here are treated." She looked directly at Pierce, and what I saw broke my heart. She clicked the remote, and video clips began playing on the screen. Pierce's face, shouting. Monica placing envelopes in lockers. Carla laughing while insulting staff. Gasps filled the room. Mr. Rivers stepped forward. "I built this resort so that hard-working people could find peace and fairness. But what I've seen is bullying, lies, and fear." He paused, then turned to Maya. "You did what I never could, Maya. You showed me the truth." She smiled, tears in her eyes. Then Mr. Rivers looked at the crowd. "As of today, some people will leave this resort." He turned toward Pierce. "You are fired, effective immediately." Pierce's mouth opened, but no words came out. Security stepped forward. Next, Mr. Rivers faced Monica and Carla. "You two will also leave today. But if you ever wish to change, there might be hope." The two women left in silence, their pride broken. Maya turned to the remaining staff. "But not all of you were cruel," she said gently. "Some of you showed kindness. Some of you stood tall." She smiled at Louis, who stood quietly in the back. "This place will change," she promised, "because now we know the truth." Maya stood by the beach, the breeze brushing through her hair. The resort was quiet for a moment, like the calm before a storm. Behind her, the sun painted the sky orange and gold. In front of her walked Clarissa Thorne, the same wealthy woman who had slapped Maya just days ago. But today, Clarissa didn't walk like a guest. She walked like someone on a mission. Maya turned to face her. Other staff members stopped to watch. Some whispered, others froze. Clarissa smirked. "So, this is where the little waitress became a princess." Maya stayed calm. "I was always a lion," she replied softly. "You just didn't see it." Clarissa chuckled. "You think this resort scares me? Your father? You?" Maya stepped closer, her eyes steady. "No," she said, "but the truth should." Just then, Mr. Rivers arrived, walking beside the resort's head lawyer. They had documents in hand. Clarissa's eyes narrowed. "You don't know who you're messing with," she snapped. Mr. Rivers replied, "Neither did you." Clarissa's crimes were bigger than just a slap. After Maya's incident, more guests came forward. They spoke about Clarissa humiliating staff, blackmailing managers, and threatening employees. One even had video proof of her calling a maid garbage in a uniform. It had gone viral online. Over 2 million views in one day. Now she wasn't just facing Maya. She was facing the world. "You're banned from every one of my resorts," Mr. Rivers said calmly. "And your membership with the elite guest program terminated." Clarissa's jaw tightened. "You think this will ruin me?" she growled. Maya looked at her and said, "No, your own actions already did." Security walked over. Clarissa laughed bitterly, tossed her sunglasses aside, and whispered, "You'll regret this." Maya stood tall. "I already regret not speaking up sooner," she said, "but never again." As Clarissa was escorted out, the staff and guests clapped, not just for Maya, but for truth, for respect, and for change. Later that evening, Maya stood at the very place she was slapped. Only now she wore a white dress, elegant and proud. Her father stood beside her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "This resort will always be your home," he said. "But from now on, you decide how it runs." Tears filled Maya's eyes, not of sadness, but of strength. The next day, a new sign was placed near the staff room. It read, "Everyone matters. Everyone deserves respect, no matter the uniform."